There we go. There we go. I forgot to unmute my microphone there. Hey up, welcome to that Old Yorkshire Geek news. So here we go again. Got some more news of a geeky nature. Stuff from Star Trek, stuff from Star Wars, a bit of Wizard of Oz, and a bit more Star Wars, and a bit of science news. And I'll carry on the upcoming films of 2022, which I started 2 days ago. It's a long list. And so we'll get into that. Let me adjust my microphone so you can hear me right. Now then. For the start, what you notice, got a new t-shirt with the logo on. That cost me a bomb. And these little badges here are a warning of make sure when you buy something from Amazon, you note how big they are. I thought these were full-size com badges. I got one on my hat as well, there it is. On my cap, should I say. And I thought they were full-size, and they're not. But it does actually say 25mm, but I didn't pay any attention. I just bought them. Click buy. What am I like? Anyway, they're nice and they're metal, so there we go. Right, so off we go. I'll just make myself smaller and then we'll get some... Have I made myself... No, I've done wrong thing again, haven't I? I've done wrong thing. I'm always pressing wrong things. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Ba-dum. Now I'll make myself smaller. Because I'm stupid. There we go. I'm getting small. Help me, help. Right, anyway, off we go. Right, window... and Splodosh. There we go. Picard Season 2, Q villain John Delancey recalls Magic's first scene with Patrick Stewart years after sharing screen in Star Trek. Look at all the adverts. Look at them. Look at them. I point with the pointer. There it is. Look at them adverts. I couldn't put this page on. I've got an ad blocker in, and it said, you can't look at this page if you've got your ad blocker running. So I turned it off. Bang, adverts. Look at them. Capitalism, eh? Anyway, right, off we go. We're not going to watch the video because it'll probably all go wrong. We'll just read. Very good. We'll just read the article. Right, are you ready? Right, here we go, sis. By the way, hello to Michelle, who's watching. We've got a viewer. Yay! And it's nice to see you. Right, off we go. Legendary Star Trek actor John Delancey has opened up on what it was like filming opposite Sir Patrick Stewart in Picard Season 2, as the pair were reunited after decades. When the God, wire's getting it weird. Oh, what am I like? Move me mouse over here. Move me mouse over here so I can get to it. There, under all my crap. Right, which I told you about, all my crap on my desk. Told you about this the other day. All those little pens and torches, little torches and pop and batteries. Oh, I don't know. Right, where were we? When the trailer for the where's my thing? There we go. When the trailer for the second season of the Amazon Prime Video series dropped, fans were left in awe. I wouldn't say that. By the confirmed return of Q, John, a villainous entity who has plagued Jean-Luc Picard, Sir Patrick, on several occasions in the past. I wouldn't call him villainous. Villainous, though. You know, he's an antagonist, I suppose, in many ways, but he's not exactly a villain, is he? He's a thorn in the side of Picard, isn't he, rather than a villain. Anyway, off we go. The extra-dimensional being who bears incredible power over time, space and reality made his first appearance in Star Trek The Next Generation in 1987, the very first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, and is now back to cause more mischief and mayhem 35 years later. During a recent conversation with Metro.co.uk, who we're reading this off. By the way, all the links are in the description below, and as usual, like and subscribe and share the vids, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I put new videos up or do live streams or whatever I do. All that malarkey. And what else? Oh, and drop a comment in the comments or enter the live chat and say something. But I might miss it because I'm stupid and I can't do more than one thing at once. As you've seen with me pressing the wrong things when I started. Right, so where were we? During a recent conversation with Metro.co.uk, John 73 recalled how great it was, great in quotes, how great it was to share the screen with Sir Patrick once again, considering Picard is Q's main squeeze. With Patrick and I, we can just play full out, therefore we come onto the tennis court with the idea of really playing a game, he stated. The actor explained that it didn't feel like there was much time between the last time we had done it and doing it this time, having last depicted Q in live action in Star Trek Voyager in 2001. I think that was the episode where he had his kid and played by his own son, his teenage son. I think that was the episode. But I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, and his son is just like his dad in real life and in the Q continuum. Anyway, the only difference is that we're mostly in black and we're taking our... Is that supposed to be chairs? It says charis. I think it means chairs. Taking our chairs more often, perhaps. But other than that, I felt at least we had just slipped into it pretty quickly. John looked back fondly on the first scene he shared with Sir Patrick, which was filmed outside and was overseen by Terry Matalas, one of the executive producers. I've got one of their cards to buy some clothes. I'm lying, it's Matalan, I know. Terry, one of the executives, had come down and it was going to be our first scene between Patrick and I. And we did the scene and he went, yes, the magic, there's the chemistry there. Patrick did, or this Terry Matalas fella, I don't know. So I was like, okay, I guess it's working out. The trailer for Picard Season 2 teased a time-bending, mind-boggling adventure as Picard discovers that Q has gone back in time and turned the world into a totalitarian nightmare. Maybe that's why they're wearing black. Because there was some photos came out a while ago, some cast photos, and they were all in black. And I was saying it's not very Starfleet, and I was wondering if that was because they were in the totalitarian, universe. Timeline. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, God. Picard enlists the help of an old friend to help. Yeah, that makes sense. Metro. As Whoopi Goldberg reprises her role as Guinan, who she first played in 1988 in the second season. First episode, The Child. And who has her own complex history with Q. Yeah, which we've never really explained, because Q seemed scared of her in the episode. Q who? Is it Q who? Or Q... I can't remember. The one where they meet the Borg. That one. And he seemed a bit wary of her, and they both stood there and she had her hands like that for some reason, and he was like ready to click his fingers. Which I suppose he could have just clicked her out of existence if he wanted to. Or maybe he couldn't. But then they went on, so it made you... He called her an imp, and it made you think, she was more powerful than she appeared. But then we found out a race were just called the Elorians, and they lived a long time, and they were good listeners, and that's it. So I don't know what the powers are. I mean, Picard and Kirk fought an Elorian in Dr. Soren, didn't they? Played by Malcolm McDowell in Star Trek Generations. He didn't seem to have any special powers. But maybe we'll see. Right, while Season 2 of Picard is yet to be released, a third outing is already on the cards and expected to premiere in 2023. Yeah, because they filmed Season 2 and 3, I think, at the same time, or consecutively. So will Q still be around to leave chaos in his wake, or will Picard thwart his mysterious plan in time? Picard Season 2 premieres on Prime Video on Friday, March 4th, with new episodes released weekly, so it's not far off. We're nearly at the end of February now, so it's only about a week away, ain't it? So hopefully it'll be good. I'm keen on Season 1, as I've said before. Shall we see if this plays? I don't know if it'll play. Let's have a look, see what happens.
Actually, it didn't feel like there was much time between the last time we had done it and doing it this time.
Is he doing an impression of Jeff Goldblum?
And we're taking our chairs more often, perhaps. But I mean, other than that, we there. I don't know. I felt at least that we just slipped into it pretty quickly. And when we were shooting, we were shooting out of sequence, so you can imagine. So we're shooting where was it? It was at the it was outside, and Terry, the one of the executives, had come down, and it was going to be our first scene between Patrick and I, and and we did the scene, and he went, "Yes, yes, the magic." The magic, so I was like, there's the chemistry there. So I was like, okay, I guess it's working out. So,
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Press pause. I think it's going to play something else. Right, shush. Right, so there we go. So, shut up. Press pause. Give over. Get away. Don't want a Volvo. Right, so there you go. So I hope season 2 is better than season 1. Like I say, I wasn't keen on season 1. I didn't hate it, but it was annoying in places. And the last episode was awful. Where the spoilers killed Picard and stuffed him in a robot body. Will they mention that this season, or have they forgotten already? Stranger things have happened in modern Star Trek. So anyway, we'll see, won't we? Right, so let's move on. So we'll get rid of that window now we've read that. And we'll move on to Disney's new $6,000 Star Wars immersive experience draws mixed reactions. The Force may not be so strong in the pricey attraction that costs about $6,000 for a family of 4, with a special suite running up to $20,000. According to early reviews, and there's a publicity photo, no doubt, of, I presume that's supposed to be Chewbacca, and a family of 4, the perfect nuclear family, about to do something with a Wookiee. Right, anyway, can Walt Disney World, whatever that means, it's Market Watch, so I'm presuming that is something to do with the markets. Hey, give up. What did that say? Walt Disney World Company, its shares are at $149.53. Is that up or down? I have no idea. They opened on 56, so they're down 3 cents. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I don't understand business. Bidness. Right, anyway, can Walt Disney World make good on its promise to deliver an experience that allows guests to see, feel and live Star Wars, provided, of course, that they're willing to pay well into the 4 figures for the opportunity? Disney is in a pre-opening phase for its Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser immersive 2-night experience. The formal kick-off is March 1st, but reports are already coming out about what exactly the attraction offers and whether it lives up to the hype, not to mention the astronomical price tag. There's no debating the fact that it's an expensive ride, hotel stay. A family of 4 will pay about $6,000 for the experience. This is just for 2 nights. With lodging, meals and entertainment included, but not drinks apparently, from what I've heard, according to press reports, and not costumes. You have to pay extra if you want to wear a Star Warsy costume and you haven't got your own, you have to pay $150 or something for a Chandrilla collection cozy. A tricked out suite will run around $20,000 according to the New York Times. The cost doesn't include, alcoholic drinks. A beer will run $13.50. The Times noted. I don't know if that's expensive in America. I don't know. I presume so. I can't remember last time I went to a pub. It's been a while. Anyway, enough of my inactive social life. Or fun extras like Star Wars themed clothing, items from the gift shop. I should have kept my gob shut and just read that, shouldn't I? Anyway, never mind. The idea behind the Galactic Starcruiser experience is that you're boarding a Star Wars Starcruiser, specifically the Halcyon, which is built by Disney as a vessel known for its impeccable service and exotic destinations. The ship is really a hotel with 100 cabins, but those who have been aboard know that you do get a galaxy view via video monitors that take the place of windows. So it'll be a bit like that episode of Star Trek Enterprise where they tricked an enemy. It was in season 3 when they were doing the Zindiark, and they tricked one of the Xindi humanoids. That he were on a shuttle with Archer, and that they'd escaped from a Xindi prison camp together, and they had the little shuttlecraft, but outside they had computer monitors, not computers, view screens, visual, whatever, tellies outside the windows. So when they looked out windows, it looked like there were stars going by. So that's what this will be like, except you're not pretending to be in Star Trek. It's Star Wars. Anyway. And you'll get to interact with a whole range of Star Wars characters, Chewbacca, Kylo Ren, et al., as well as hang out at a space-age bar dubbed the Sublight Lounge. Does that mean it can only go when the ship's not in hyperspace, then, is it? I don't know. Maybe it's like, you can't use toilets when the train is in the station, you can't use the bar when the ship's in hyperspace. Maybe alcohol affects the engines. And eat all sorts of food with an out-of-this-world theme. Blue shrimp, anyone? The experience also includes a visit to the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars attraction at Walt Disney World's Hollywood Studios theme park. So that's supposed to be the planet Batuu, apparently. But when it was originally designed, it was supposed to be going to be Tatooine, I do believe, and like Mos Eisley, it was going to be like that. With, hangar, what they call it, 94. Docking Bay 94 with the Millennium Falcon in. And then Kathleen Kennedy decided, no, we don't want all that old Star Wars, we want new Star Wars. Yeah, that's worked out well, hasn't it? It's a whole lot of Star Wars, in other words, and that may not always be a good thing, say some of those who have experienced it. This can get to be a bit much if you're not an ardent Star Wars fan, wrote Brooks Barnes in the New York Times. And there's his quote in big blue letters, in case you'd missed it there. Joe Cunningham of Gizmodo attended the free press preview, but still tried to put the experience in financial perspective. I never, ever, ever would have paid what it cost to take my family to this thing, he wrote. But he nevertheless said, it really is incredibly cool. $6,000. That's for a family of 4 for 2 nights. I think if just 2 of you are going, it costs you, I think it's $4,800. It's a lot of money. Cunningham explained that the experience doesn't really feel like being inside the gritty, lived-in universe of the original Star Wars, as much as it feels like being at the in-universe equivalent of a theme park with all of the artificial authenticity that entails. Still, he said, this Starcruiser ride comes with a worthy plot of sorts. Every time you leave your room, you'll bump right into the unfolding narrative, and unless you work actively against it, you'll find yourself pulled into the story. And there's one of the rooms. That's the what they call it, the parents' bed, double bed, and there are 2 outside there, the single beds for the kids. We'll be able to watch them, mum and dad, get up to stuff. I don't get it. I don't. What if you don't want to do the? What if I know you've paid $6,000, but if you've got that much money to throw away, not throw away, but you know what I mean. I'm being harsh, but if you've got that sort of money to spend on 2 nights, you'd think, I'm not going when I'd want that, because you're not the only guest there. They said there's 100 cabins, so is there really 100 cabins? 100 paying guests, so that's what $600,000 per 48 hours they're getting from it, aren't they? And I'd want it to be working around me, not me working around, when they say, be here and there, and you'll be able to see stuff happening, the plot unfolding. I'd want the plot to be unfolding around me. If I want to lie in, I'm having a lie in for $6,000. Anyway, as usual, I digress. Chaim Gartenberg of The Verge similarly faulted the experience for being a little too polished and clean. He also pointed out that many of the Starcruiser spaces are a little cramped. Well, there's a Starcruiser in it, The main dining cabin is about the size of a medium-sized restaurant, while the atrium's neon-soaked bar offers seating for a couple of dozen people at most, he wrote. Perhaps more significantly, the cabins are very compact, almost in the style of those on a cruise ship, Gartenberg noted. I've never stayed in a $2,000 per night hotel room, but I would expect a lot more than this. Yes, so would I. Disney fan Maya Maslov waxed poetic about the dining experience. Yes, there is blue shrimp in space, apparently. Yes, we ate it. Yes, it is as unique as it looks. In the blue shrimp, didn't they use them in The Mandalorian? Like at that farm where, in the first season, they use it to make that drink, don't they? That blue drink. I forgot what they call it now. Anyway, the drink. It's an alcoholic drink. But whatever. I digress again. Anyway, but she also enthused about other onboard experiences, from the lightsaber training, which looks rubbish, to the interactions with the characters. The idea is that you'll be living your own Star Wars story, role-playing in a world where your actions truly impact the things going on around you, she added. CNN's Ashley Strickland also praised the experience's over-the-top appeal. To call it a hotel would be uninspired and inaccurate. It's a voyage. And I suppose that's what they're going for with the cramped cabins. It's supposed to be like a ship cabin, isn't it? Not a hotel room. Disney officials clearly are bullish about the attraction's potential to draw visitors no matter what the cost. A Disney spokesperson told MarketWatch that the experience is a bold leap forward in highly immersive entertainment, delivering a 2-night vacation experience in a whole new way. Is that it? Yeah, that's it for that. But we've got more on this because there's a YouTube video. I hope it works. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So we'll get rid of that. And the YouTube video should appear before your very eyes. Right, we'll start it from here. I'm not starting from beginning because it goes on for an hour. But we'll start from beginning. Rey and Kylo Ren are about to fight. So let's just watch this. Are you ready? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. And she puts it down and picks up another one. Ooh, they're fighting, look. Should be sparks and stuff coming on, shouldn't there? A bit of pyro. It's $6,000 a night. Do a bit of pyro for your immersive experience. I mean, they've got music playing. Oh my God! Ooh. It's supposed to be set, the story, between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, by the way. Which begs the question, why has he got his mask? Oh, they're shooting at, I think, have they? Because the stormtroopers down here. You might see one. I see one there, one there, look, one there. One there. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. I won't tell you what happens. You'll have to go. Right, so I'll press pause. And that is from, we've got to say thanks to Paging Mr. Morrow. Give him a like. We'll give him a like. There we go. Give him a like. And, we won't pay him any money. But there we go. So, yes, he was one of the, press people, I suppose, or influencers that got invites to go. I don't think he paid. And he videoed it. I can't see my telly from my wire. There we go. Monitor, telly, same thing. Yeah, so there we go. So that's, it looks, does it look $6,000 per night? That's the question. Like I say, a bit of pyro, won't go amiss. A few sparks and stuff when the lightsabers are hitting. They should have practiced all this, they should be good at it. They'll be doing it, every day, won't they? I don't know how many times a day they'll do it, I don't know, but anyway. Right, anyway, so let's move on. Bit of classic. Wizard of Oz, Dorothy is the Wicked Witch of the East. Theory explained. Dorothy may be the iconic hero of The Wizard of Oz, but an intriguing fan theory claims she is actually the unseen Wicked Witch of the East. Did I say West before? If I did, I'm an idiot. Don't pay any attention to me. And there's the Witch of the East's feet poking out from under Dorothy's house. And there's Dorothy, looking shocked. Dorothy Gale, Judy Garland, is the iconic hero of The Wizard of Oz, but an intriguing theory suggests she is really the Wicked Witch of the East. The musical adaptation of L. Frank Baum's novel was released in 1939 and is a cinematic landmark. Sorry, I was just checking, making sure we're all still going. Yeah, we are. I forgot where I was now. A cinematic landmark that hugely impacted popular culture. Dorothy stands out as Garland's most memorable role, except this fan theory proposes that the character makes another brief villainous appearance. When a tornado tears through the Kansas farmland, which I think still stands up today for that effect of the the twister, which apparently done with like bin bags and stuff, wasn't it? Not bin bags, but you know what I mean, that were like swirled around and stuff. It still looks amazing. Anyway, when a tornado tears through the Kansas farmland, Dorothy and her dog Toto find themselves transported to the magical Technicolor world of Oz. In her quest to return home, Dorothy meets various eccentric characters who accompany her to the Emerald City. The Wizard of Oz popularised colouring film and featured one of the cinema's best villains in The Wicked Witch of the West, Margaret Hamilton, who was determined to capture Dorothy and take her ruby slippers. I'll not do an impression. There is more than one witch in the land of Oz, with the good-natured Glinda, Billy Burke, helping Dorothy on her journey. Gosh, did my head into Glinda. I mean, she first appears, and then she asks Dorothy, she says, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" And Dorothy goes, "What?" As you would. And then she says, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" And then she introduces herself. She says, "I'm Glinda, I'm the witch of the North." Is it North? Yeah, Witch of the North. And she said, "Oh, I've never seen a beautiful witch before." And she says, "Oh, only wicked witches are ugly." And then she goes, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" And she said, "Well, what are you trying to say? Trying to say I'm ugly?" I'd have punched her in the face if I were Dorothy. That's what I'd have done. Knocked her on her ass. Anyway, right. However, the Wicked Witch of the East is never fully seen, leading to a theory via Reddit to suggest she is Dorothy's doppelganger. The fantasy world of The Wizard of Oz parallels her life in Kansas, with several characters resembling people she knew back home. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And they're all like going, yeah, whatever. Assuming Oz is an alternate reality and not a dream as the film implies, this dark Wizard of Oz theory does hold some weight, but is complicated by the witch's family ties and the titular wizard. And there's the Wicked Witch of the West. "I'll get you and your little dog." I said I wouldn't do an impression, didn't I? And I just done one, because I can't help myself. Just have a little drinky. Just have a little drinky. I might burp in a minute because it's pop. So I apologise beforehand. Right, The Wizard of Oz ends with Dorothy returning home after clicking the heels of her ruby slippers together 3 times and saying, "There's no place like home." Don't forget that bit. Her friends and family believe she was simply dreaming, but Dorothy is convinced her adventure was real. Only then does she realise the Scarecrow, Ray Bolger, Tin Man Jack Haley and Cowardly Lion Bert Lahr were versions of the farmhands she sees every day. The theory argues that Dorothy wasn't dreaming, but instead sent to an alternate reality where she encounters the doppelgangers of her loved ones. However, because she never meets her own double, the theory claims Dorothy is a Wizard of Oz. The theory claims Dorothy is a Wizard of Oz witch. It's hard to say. It is. Try it. The Wicked Witch of the East is crushed by Dorothy's... I have lost the ability to speak. The Wicked Witch of the East is crushed by Dorothy's house crash landing in Munchkinland, with the theory speculating one copy is drawn to destruction in order to avoid paradoxes. Only the Wicked Witch of the East's striped legs and ruby slipper-adorned feet are visible. Conveniently, these slippers fit Dorothy's feet perfectly. Which never occurred to me. I just assumed they're magical and they fit, automatically fit. Therefore, the Redditor believes Dorothy merely replaced her evil counterpart. Where are you going? Oh, God, hang on. Where's me slider? There we go. It's a compelling theory, especially as the Kansas characters and their Oz doubles were played by the same actors. Bother! The theory is also notes that the Wizard of Oz's sequels and spin-offs suggest Oz was not a dream. The idea of Judy Garland's Dorothy, who has just run away from home, crushing the evil version of herself, could be perceived as a metaphor for regretting her actions. However, Dorothy and the Wicked Witch of the East sharing the same shoe size could simply be a coincidence, especially as the ruby slippers appeared on the feet by magic. That's what I just said. Further, the three witches are sisters, but Dorothy has no siblings. The Reddit theory admits Dorothy's guardians. Isn't there supposed to be a Wicked Witch of the South, though? I'm sure I read somewhere that there was. I can't remember. I've read Wizard of Oz when I was a kid, and I forgot it totally. Anyway, the Reddit theory admits Dorothy's guardians, her aunt and uncle, aren't represented in Oz, but neglect to mention how Glinda symbolises a mother figure. Michelle Williams plays a younger Glinda, and Annie, the future mother of Dorothy, in Sam Raimi's prequel, Oz the Great and Powerful. Although made over 70 years after the original, the prequel's depiction of Glinda as her mother's double makes perfect sense. One theory complicates these parental and sister dynamics. I'll learn to read one of these days, I will. The theory complicates these parental and sister dynamics, but fortune teller Professor Marvel and the Wizard, both Frank Morgan, discredits it even more. The Wizard would be Marvel's Oz counterpart, were it not for the fact he is originally from Kansas. This exception to the doppelganger motif cast doubt on the Wizard of Oz Dorothy theory, and that's it. It's interesting, but, sometimes stripy leg and ruby slippers is just stripy leg and ruby slippers, in it. That's, Don't overthink it. It's the Wizard of Oz, for crying out loud. Just enjoy it. So there we go. Anyway, we'll get rid of that one. The next one. Now then, I might have something to say on this. It might be controversial. It might not. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. My sister wants to give my niece a Star Wars-inspired name. She'll be bullied. A woman took to Reddit. There's Reddit in it these days. I've never been on Reddit, I don't think, because I'm old, to ask if she was in the wrong for telling her sister how she really feels about the unusual name she and her partner had decided on for their daughter. Oh, hey, where are you going? A woman has been slammed online for her plan to change her daughter, to name her daughter after a Star Wars character. Like, I was thinking, oh yeah, it's going to call her Leia or Rey or something like that, a girl's name basically, or Mon Mothma. But it's not that, as you shall see. The woman's sister shared the story in a post on Reddit where she admitted she was stunned when the name was revealed to her. She said that her sister wanted to name her baby Rebecca as a sweet tribute to their nan who had passed away. But her partner, who was a big Star Wars fan, wanted to use a name from the franchise. Before they knew they were having a girl, he wanted a son to name Chewie, which I still think is a bit odd. But it's not unheard of, so whatever. Not unheard of. I don't know anybody called Chewie, apart from Chewie. The Reddit user explained. And there's a stock photo of two people having some sort of disagreement. And it says there, she confronted her sister about it. But I don't think that's them, because it says Getty Images there. When the expecting couple found out they were having a baby girl, a baby, yeah. Not going to have a full-grown girl, is she? The original poster's brother-in-law didn't want to change the name he had his heart set on. He also refused to choose a more gender-neutral name from the films. Eventually, after many arguments, they came up with a compromise and combined the two, getting Chewbacca, but calling her by her nickname Becca, which is fair enough. Or Becky, I suppose you could go with that, but they'd be saying Becca, wouldn't they? The woman said I told her not to name her daughter Chewbacca, and that she'll probably get bullied for having a name that sounds like a dog's name. She's not wrong. She got mad and said her daughter is not a dog, which obviously, and that what she named her child was none of my business. Yeah, yeah. But once she goes to school, kids are kids. Kids don't care that she's not a dog. They'd take Mickey. They would. Anyway, we'll carry on. Oh, where are you going? Reddit users shared their opinion on the name in the comments, and the majority of people sided with the original poster. One person said, their poor daughter. Another wrote, when you send her first birthday card, include the first $20 toward future therapy for her name. Even though they call her Becca, it will not be her legal name and not on any legal documents, licenses, diplomas, etc. A third added, there's not actually people out there naming their kids after Chewbacca, right? Imagine her wedding day. Do you, Chewbacca, take R2? Because she's going to have to find someone to marry that's named after Star Wars 2. Star Wars as well, not Star Wars 2, not The Empire Strikes Back, or Attack of the Clones. Whichever you think is Star Wars 2. The sister responded to their comment saying, I googled it after I found out about their name choice, and yes, there are in fact people naming their children after Chewbacca in some variation or another. I don't think it's particularly common, but it exists. I even found an article about the newest actor to play Chewbacca naming his daughter Bacca. And someone, but he's not he's from, I don't know, the Nordic country, isn't he? So maybe Bacca means something in Norwegian or Sweden or Denmark, or wherever he's from, I can't remember. As someone else suggested, Finland, I think it's Finnish, isn't it? Anyway, as someone else suggested, the woman should call her daughter Rebecca instead, which sounds better. If they want a Star Wars twist on Rebecca, how about Rebecca, they said. Still unique, but at least livable. Save Chewie for the family dog. There we go. Yeah, I think it's a mistake. Go away. It does this, does the mirror? I just pop stuff. These places that it's all adverts and pop-ups. There, but it's gone away. But yeah, I think it's a mistake. I mean, I've got Facebook friends that have named their kids after Star Wars characters. Well, one. And, and some of them aren't too bad, are they? But some of them, I wouldn't name my kid after a Star Wars character. But like, Leia and Luke, obviously Luke, that's a normal name, isn't it? Normal. But Chewbacca, that's not right, is it? I mean, poor kid. She'd get picked on. A lot of parents don't think what the kid's going to have to go through, do they? With these names. But it's like posh people with loads of money. They just give the kids stupid names, don't they? Obviously not stupid to them, but the odd names, that don't fit well. Maybe they're doing their circle of friends or social circles or class circles. You get people called like Horatio and stuff, don't you? Which, if they went to like a comprehensive school, they'd get ripped apart, wouldn't they? But somebody called Horatio's not going to go to a comprehensive school. They're going to go to a Eton, aren't they? Or Harrow, or one of them. Anyway, right, so that's it. We're on to some science news now. We're nearly done. On to some science news. Right, first up, they're both from space.com. Both of these stories. Stratolaunch's ROC, I don't know what that stands for. Soars again. Biggest airplane ever built. Ace's fourth test flight. Rock stays aloft for 1 hour and 43 minutes on Thursday, February 24th. And there's a picture of it. Got two fuselages, and I think the middle part is where, because it's going to be used to launch stuff into space, basically. And stuff will hang from middle part, won't it? And it'll get up to a high altitude, and then it'll detach, and that's what it's for. Right. The biggest airplane ever built, Stratolaunch's rock carrier aircraft. Maybe it's called a rock after that big giant bird. I've just thought of that. Yeah, I bet it is. Just aced its 4th test flight from the Sinbad films and stories. Rock, which will eventually haul hypersonic vehicles into the air, successfully finished its latest flight on Thursday, February 24th, a jaunt that came on the heels of another test flight in January. Rock lifted off from the Mojave Air and Spaceport in California at 3:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1823 GMT, and stayed aloft for 1 hour and 43 minutes, reaching a maximum altitude of 15,000 feet, 4,572 metres. Stratolaunch representatives said, the huge aircraft has a wingspan of 385 feet, more than double the wingspan of a typical commercial airplane. And I looked up, did a bit of research. I looked up, a Boeing 747 has a wingspan of about 195 feet. So there you go. So it's nearly 200 feet bigger than in wingspan than a Boeing 747. And they're jolly big. Not that I've been on one. 'Cause I'm a poor man from a poor family. I'll not sing. Right. Thursday's flight was meant to focus on retraction test of landing gear and further expand the envelope of proven capabilities, according to NASA Spaceflight, which carried a live stream of the event on YouTube. NASA Spaceflight's excellent. Follow them. They're really good. They'll cover lots of stuff like this and rocket launchers and all that. They're excellent. They are excellent. And they've got permanent cameras at the SpaceX, what they call it? I forgot what it calls it now. It's Spaceport thing. They don't call it Spaceport, do they? Is it Starport? I don't know. Starbase. Starbase 1 he calls it, doesn't he, at Boca Chica, where he's doing all his tests of his Starship. Yeah, they've got permanent cameras there, and they've got permanent live cameras where you can follow what's going on live on YouTube. They've also got cameras in Florida for when, with the ship that comes in, the drone ship that the booster lands on. They've got cameras following that as well. 24/7. So yeah, go on YouTube, search NASA Spaceflight and give them a follow. Today's successful flight demonstrates and validates improvements to the carrier aircraft systems and overall flight performance, Zachary Crevor, Stratolaunch President and CEO, said in a statement released shortly after the flight. The full landing gear retraction and extension brings the carrier aircraft closer to operational status, a milestone that is necessary to ready the aircraft for Talon A separation and hypersonic flight tests later this year. I'm going to burp. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. I'm disgusting, I know. Stratolaunch was established in 2011 by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, who wished to create an affordable way to launch satellites in mid-air rather than atop a rocket. Allen died in October 2018 before Rock began its test flight program. The first test flight took place in April 2019. A few months later, in October 2019, the company was sold to a new set of owners who changed Rock's focus to send hypersonic vehicles aloft. These sorts of vehicles can travel at least 5 times the speed of sound. Oh, so they're not doing stuff into orbit now. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well. Oh, and there's that hut on the moon that turns out it's just a rock, but not a rock. This plane, a boulder. But that's changing the subject. While Rock gets most of the public attention, Stratolaunch is looking to the future with a new family of hypersonic vehicles. Prominent among that new set of vehicles is the reusable 28-foot long, 8.5 metres Talon A. Talon A is not expected to take to the air until Rock is further along in its testing series, according to past comments by company representatives. Stratolaunch initially hoped to perform the first drop tests with Rock and Talon A early in 2022, but it's common for early test programs to fall behind the timeline due to technical and logistic matters. Eventually, the company will fly an expendable version of Talon A to high speeds and then proceed with the first flight of a reusable Talon A according to plans discussed in 2021. The company is aiming for a fully operational capability by mid to late 2023. It's only next year. Stratolaunch representatives said in a call with reporters after Thursday's flight. Potential interest in Stratolaunch's work could come from the US military, which has been developing its own hypersonic vehicles for many years, but has not yet made an operational version. So they say. TR-3B, Aurora, the list goes on. The interest comes from the opportunity hypersonic vehicles present to deliver weapons, as hypersonics are manoeuvrable enough to counteract many traditional defence systems. There we go. So there we go. So that's another exciting, not quite space, but nearly thing. But yeah, it's interesting to watch. I wonder if it goes a bit when it's a bit of turbulence. Yeah, it's got two cockpits. You can't see in this picture, but it's got two cockpits. It's got obviously one in each fuselage. But I think in these test flights, sometimes there's only one cockpit being manned, or only one cockpit doing the flying. I think sometimes there's somebody in the other one, but they're not actually doing the flying. I think they're just monitoring. Anyway, we aren't nearly done. I forgot about something else. Oh, crikey. Going on forever. Right. Another spacey thing. Is our universe a holographic projection? Scientists are using black holes and quantum computing to find out. What's inside a black hole? Quantum computers and deep learning may finally reveal clues. And there's a visualization of a black hole. I've never liked that. Maybe that's what they look like, but I don't like it. I want a black hole to look like in the film The Black Hole. Basically like a big like water going down a drain. That's what I want it to look like. But they probably don't. They'll look more like that. Because real life is sometimes boring. What happens inside a black hole, and how does whatever goes on inside relate to the universe outside it? It's a mystery that has evaded scientists for decades. It's also a mystery that could also redefine how we think about the nature of the universe. In a paper published in the journal PRX Quantum, on February 10th, physicists applied quantum computers and machine learning, the computational technology that powers facial recognition software and natural language processing, to test a possible connection. Black holes play by Einstein's theory of general relativity, which governs the universe on large scales. Tiny particles outside of black holes play by the rules of the Standard Model of Particle Physics, which outlines the universe at the absolute tiniest scales. There's little overlap and a lot of disagreement between the two systems. Connecting the two different theories is a long-standing issue in physics. Something people have been trying to do since the last century, which is like the 20th century, the 1900s, not the 80th. When people say the last century, I think like Victorian times still, but it's not. It's the 20th. Enrico Rinaldi, a physicist at the University of Michigan at Riken in Japan, I don't know what that is, and the first author of the paper, said in a statement, "One hypothesis that might connect the two theories is an idea that the motions of particles in a two-dimensional plane above the black hole reflect the three-dimensional motions of the black hole, almost like a holographic projection. It's a concept called holographic duality. That's the concept researchers are hoping to test. First, use a quantum computer to simulate particles that represent a projection of a black hole, then use machine learning to analyse how the particles interact with each other. The researchers hope the process will offer them insight into how both the particles and the black hole work." Have a drink. Hey. Burps will ensue. That's me, not that. We hope that by understanding the properties of this particle theory, through the numerical experiments, we understand something about gravity, Rinaldi said in the statement. That's important because holographic duality could go beyond 3 dimensions. Some scientists even suggest that the universe could be a projection of something with even more dimensions. Have they said 11? I'm sure they said 11 at some point. Whereas dimensions are different to like alternate realities. They're different out there. Dimensions is something else. That sounds difficult, but this method could be the path to learning more. So there we go. That's there's also another thing, the holographic universe theory, isn't there? That they've kind of thought there's a theory, isn't there, that the universe can be manifest in its tiniest particles, can't it? The whole universe is in an atom, and so if you split like things apart, the whole universe is in, and I don't know, getting all muddled up, because it's science, but that's the holographic universe theory, isn't it? That the entire sort of like the entire data of the universe can be found in each of its constituent parts. Somehow, don't ask me how, I don't know, but that's the theory. Right, so we'll get rid of that. Right, last up, we'll carry on with this list of upcoming sci-fi movies you won't want to miss. We've done loads before, the link's in the description if you want to catch up, but we're up to Avatar 2. That's a picture, obviously, from Avatar 1 of Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington. Whatever happened to him? I'm sure he'll make a comeback soon. Right, it's coming out in December this year, finally. When did the first one come out? 2009, so it's only 13 years. Unbelievable. Director James Cameron is on record with his philosophy that a film is not worth making if it won't be the biggest movie of all time. This certainly held true for Titanic in 1997 and Avatar in 2009, and there's no reason to believe that Avatar 2 will be any different. I don't think it'll do as well as the first one. Cameron has spent the last 12 years improving special effects technology and underwater photography. With a burp, sorry. Oh, pardon me, I'm so disgusting. I am. Underwater photography to capture an undersea adventure the likes of which audiences cannot yet imagine. Inspired by Maori and Polynesian cultures, Avatar 2 will take place under the oceans of Pandora, where the Sully family, complete with a new child, shall meet a tribe of reef-dwelling Na'vi. Even if Cameron's plan to follow this with multiple additional Avatar sequels never bears fruit, audiences can be assured they will see something impressive here. I'm sure it'll look good. And he's supposed to be doing like another 3D thing, isn't he, that where you don't need to wear glasses, the like sunglasses for the 3D effect. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll look good. And I did enjoy Avatar, for what it's worth. It's not exactly original, but it looked good, and it went along at a nice pep, and it had good action scenes and all that. Yeah, it was good. So I'm sure Avatar 2 will be good. Right, Duel as in two of, not duel as in 7 paces, that sort of duel. Because it's spelt differently, Duel, right. And that is Karen Gillan, and that's Karen Gillan. We've got 2 Karen Gillans. That's out this year sometime. On the long list of horrifying sci-fi scenarios looming on our horizon is a world where we can successfully clone human beings. Another clone thing. We've done all this a million times. The thought of large-scale cloning has inspired all sorts of dystopia and horror, but Duel proves that it can also be a source of comedy. Oh, it's going to be comedy, is it? From Riley Stearns, the same mind that brought us 2014's Faults and 2019's The Art of Self-Defense, comes a darkly comedic tale of human cloning. Karen Gillan, Doctor Who and Guardians of the Galaxy, is Sarah, a woman recently diagnosed with a rare and incurable disease. To save her boyfriend and mother from the impending loss, she decides to undergo a medical procedure called replacement. So it sounds like it's The Island, isn't it? Which I liked. It's one of the few Michael Bay films that I really liked. Which is just as horrifying as it sounds. Sarah is thus cloned and plans to spend her last days on Earth preparing her copy to take over her life. Oh, right, I thought she meant she was going to use the copy to fix herself. If this sounds a little familiar, it's because Apple TV's Swan Song told a very similar tale of a terminally ill man replacing himself with a clone. Yeah, but nobody watches Apple TV, do they? Apart from me, I did for a while. I've cancelled it now. I got Apple TV for all mankind, and then when that finished, I've cancelled it. Because there's nothing on. Well, there's lots of stuff on it, but it's finding stuff. It's worse than Netflix. But there's one major difference. Sarah makes a miraculous recovery. Because no advanced society would be complete without horrific dystopian rules, it turns out that humans can't exist alongside their clones, and the pair are scheduled to fight to the death. Whoever comes out on the top gets the pleasure of living Sarah's life. With the help of her combat trainer, played by Breaking Bad alum Aaron Paul, Sarah prepares for a duel to the death. And that's it. That's a comedy, is it? Sounds hilarious. Sounds hilarious. It sounds, like I say, it's a cross between The Island and it's got shades of AI, artificial intelligence, hasn't it? Because that had Haley Joel Osment with a robot, wasn't it, the kid, and the people that adopted him. They wanted a replacement because I think they thought their son were going to die, but then he he got better, didn't he? Though he was cured of whatever got up with him. So they ended up dumping the robot because they didn't need it anymore, did they? Should have had them fight to the death. Next up, more clones. They clone Tyrone. So this is going to be like a black version of Duel, is it? But more sassy bit looks. John Boyega. Oh, yes, John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, and whoever that is. Teyona Paris. John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, and Teyona Paris are no strangers to the blockbuster. Each actor is a total scene stealer. They've appeared in some of the most successful franchises to date. So it's a little surprising that their upcoming film, They Clone Tyrone, has been so under the radar until recently. Well, it's Netflix, isn't it? Everything's under the radar on Netflix. I mean, who'd heard of Red Notice until it was on Netflix? Nobody heard of it. It's a $200 million film that nobody heard of, starring The Rock and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. I don't understand Netflix. I don't understand. Anyway, described by Boyega himself as the stateside attack the block, the Netflix film follows the drug dealer Tyrone Fontaine, Boyega, pimp Slick Charles Fox, and sex worker Yo-Yo Paris as they uncover an eerie conspiracy lurking beneath their neighbourhood. Though not much is known about the project apart from the sleek first look that appeared in Netflix's 2022 movie preview, it's sure to turn heads as its release date approaches. Sci-fi films that feature black leads are often... Why has that got capital? I don't know. Black leads are often few and far between. Far between. Boyega has been one of the stars helping to shift the status quo since his breakout role in Attack the Block. It's good, it's Attack the Block. With a seasoned talent like Fox, and they're supposed to be doing a sequel. With a seasoned talent like Fox and an up-and-coming actor like Paris, They Clone Tyrone seems like a match made in pulp heaven. I don't know. Is that another comedy, or is it an action thing? It looks as though it might be comedic, doesn't it? So they don't exactly look serious, do they? We'll have to wait and see. Right, The Wandering Earth 2. I haven't even seen The Wandering Earth 1. Is this another Netflix one? I think it is, isn't it? Next year, next January. Frank Guo's The Wandering Earth is the fourth highest grossing non-English language film of all time. They've put film, sorry. That's why I paused. I thought I'd read it wrong. But, thanks to a half-hearted Netflix distribution deal and the caprices of streaming algorithms, was not widely seen in the United States. The original took place in a future when the sun is about to go supernova. You can't. And humanity must band together to build giant rocket engines that will push the Earth out of its orbit and fly it to the next sun over. Far-fetched, of course, but a fun premise. Humanity, meanwhile, had moved into underground bunkers for the duration of the centuries-long voyage. The sequel starred Hong Kong superstar Andy Lau. The The sequel, starring Hong Kong superstar Andy Lau, will continue with the Earth's interstellar voyage and will doubtless boast impressive special effects and a further delve into the mind-boggling technology required to turn the whole planet into a spacecraft. That sounds mental. I'll have to watch Wandering Earth if it's still on Netflix. Never seen it. The Marvels. Oh, here we go. This was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2, and then she's been demoted to that's the she's saying, "Hey, hi, Peter Parker." Oh God, I hate. Fans will still have to wait a year to see Brie Larson's Carol Danvers suit up for the sequel to Captain Marvel. And as the film's title implies, she won't be on her own. Perhaps even more exciting than seeing Carol return for her second solo adventure is that she'll be joined by Monica Rambeau, Teyonah Parris. Oh, we've just seen in that other film, who we saw gain superpowers in WandaVision. Oh yes, she played, Monica Rambeau. But she's got a superhero name, hasn't she? But I can't remember it. As well as Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani, who is set to debut in her own series, Ms. Marvel. Later this year. Little else is known about the movie's plot, with Marvel keeping its stars tight-lipped as always. However, Larson has referred to the sequel as bonkers and cited it as an attempt of Marvel's ability to continually reinvent itself. Where you going? Oh, crikey. The Marvels is directed by Nia DaCosta, who previously worked with Paris on Candyman, which I've not seen. And the script, but I wasn't keen on original Candyman either. I'm not a huge Clive Barker fan, to be honest. But that's just me. And the script is penned by Megan McDonnell, who wrote for WandaVision as well. Carol will reportedly be squaring off against Zor Ashton as the as-yet unnamed villain. The Marvels will also see Samuel L. Jackson reprise his role as Nick Fury, while Park Seo-joon, Parasite, joins the cast as well. Aside from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the MCU has a lousy track record with the second entries in its various properties. However, with this many great characters and a director who's already proven herself capable of reinventing a franchise, The Marvels is definitely a movie to look forward to. But I've heard Candyman ain't right good, so how does that mean she's proven herself capable of reinventing a franchise? But I've not seen it, but I've heard Candyman's not that good, so, the remake. Anyway. More Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And there they are. Oh, look, that's from second one, isn't it? Because she's Nebula's in cuffs. Fans of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy have been waiting for the third instalment for more than 5 years. Thankfully, we'll all get a chance to hear Star-Lord's fantastic mixtapes again in May of 2023 when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 hits theatres. The Guardians of the Galaxy are a team of misfit heroes that include Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax, and the voices of Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper as Groot and Rocket Raccoon. The first two films are candy-coloured space adventures full of humour and heart, and it will be great to follow the adventures of this ragtag crew once more. Yeah, the first Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing. The second one were alright. This will be the final outing for this team of Guardians under Gunn's direction, which means that anything could happen and the stakes are higher than they've ever been. Will Star-Lord ever get the hero status he desires? Is alternate universe Gamora the same as the Gamora we knew? Yeah, because she died, didn't she? Thanos killed her, but then all this time travel shenanigans happened and we got alternate universe Gamora. And loved before the blink. Will Rocket steal any body parts? He always does, doesn't he? We'll have to wait until 2023 to find out, which seems way, way too far away. It'll arrive. Transformers, Rise of the Beast. Look at Transformers. Beast. God, I hate these films. It's been several years since Bumblebee, which I've not seen, but I've heard it's good, but I don't like the Transformers films anyway, so that's why I've not seen it. start again. It's been several years since Bumblebee began the course correction for the Transformers franchise, and longer still since we've seen a full-blown entry in the series. No longer! Paramount is bringing us Transformers Rise of the Beasts in summer 2023, which will bring the beloved 90s spin-off Beast Wars into the equation. Stephen Caple Jr., Creed 2, I don't know, is directing with In the Heights star Anthony Ramos and Project Power breakout Dominique Fishback leading the way on the human side. Peter Cullen is also returning to voice Optimus Prime, with Ron Perlman taking on the role of Optimus Primal, leader of the Maximals. That means naught to me. Are we nearly at end of these now? How many have we got to go? Shall I finish them or shall I finish it? I'll finish these. I think we'll finish these tomorrow. I'll do a couple more, yeah, because we're getting there, aren't we? Here we go. I'll do one more, and then we'll call it a draw. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, more Marvel. But I did like Ant-Man, and I did like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Whatever the naysayers say, I enjoyed them. Anyway, next year. It seems like forever, but it seems like forever before we'll get to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on July 23rd, 2023. The details are scarce on this film. Or is it scarce? Whatever, I say scarce, because I'm from Yorkshire. But there is something we do know, and that's the important part. Jonathan Majors will appear as Kang the Conqueror. We saw him monologuing as a Kang variant in the Loki Disney Plus series. But now that the multiverse has been broken wide open after Spider-Man No Way Home, all the universes could potentially become Kang's playgrounds. So who broke the universes open? Was it Doctor Strange, in Spider-Man No Way Home, or was it, Loki and Ms. Loki, whatever her name was, so I don't know called, in the Loki series, because they all went doolally then, didn't it? End of that with Kang. When he killed Kang, or whatever happened to, I don't know what happened to Kang. I can't remember. I only watched it once because it was rubby. The Ant-Man movies haven't been hugely pivotal to the MCU as a whole, but they've been a joy to watch. We know we'll see the return of Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, Hope Van Dyne, Evangeline Lilly, Dr. Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, and Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer, and a grown-up Cassie Lang, Catherine Newton. I think he got blipped, didn't he? No, he didn't get blipped, did he? He was stuck in the quantum universe, quantum realm, wasn't it, for 5 years, while everybody else was blipped. Well, half of everybody else. What's even more fun, though, is that Bill Murray will likely be in it as well as a villain. Peyton Reed is returning to direct the third Ant-Man film, and he reportedly impressed Murray, which is one of the highest compliments you can get in Hollywood. Oh, we'll do this one because I don't like A Quiet Place, but it's a spin-off anyway. I didn't like the first one, so I haven't seen the second one. The first one annoyed me. Got to be quiet. So what do? Have a baby. Yeah, that's really clever, isn't it? Before we catch up with the Abbott family in A Quiet Place Part 3, oh God, there's going to be another. The sci-fi horror franchise is going to take a detour with an as-yet untitled spin-off film. The movie will shift the focus away from the Abbotts and onto other individuals in the Quiet Place universe, possibly shining a light on how other people have been fighting to stay alive in the property's post-apocalyptic landscape. Michael Sarnowski is writing and directing the spin-off, making it the first movie he's worked on since helming the critically acclaimed drama Pig, starring Nicolas Cage. Not into it. I'm sure it's mental if it's got Nicolas Cage in it. Sarnowski will also be drawing from a story conceived by A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 director John Krasinski, which should only further ensure that the film clears the same bar for quality as the first two entries in the franchise. I didn't like him. Right, we'll leave it there for tonight. I've waffled on for over an hour. We'll finish this whenever. I'm sure they're adding to the bottom. I don't seem to be getting anywhere. So we'll leave it there. I shall get rid of that. Ba-doom, and I shall make myself bigger. Whee. There we go. There we go. Right, so we'll leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow. Fingers crossed with more news. If I can dig something up. If not, we'll just finish these. But I'm sure things will happen. Anyway, so we'll leave it there, as I've said. And I'm sorry for the mess behind me. I don't know if you can see. I think my microphone's blocking it. But I've got, because I'm in Yorkshire, I've got a clothes horse and I've got all my washing on drying in front of the fire. I've got a dryer, a kitchen, a tumble dryer, but electricity is expensive these days. Anyway, that's enough of my domestic life. So until tomorrow with some more news. Oh, by the way, I shall reiterate, thank you for watching, by the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I keep forgetting, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching, and until tomorrow, I'll see thee. Bye.